Hi guys, so in the previous video I told you about the design I put together, which I decided to stitch for my mom's 10th anniversary. So the previous video was about the drafting of the bodice and then the cutting of the other part of the dress. So today we are going to continue with how I stitched them all together to form the dress. Okay, so you can see the first thing I did was to join the front pieces for both the fabric and the facing together. Yes, so I joined it, and then the next thing I did was to create the channel for the boning. So I used bias to create the channels the way I wanted it, and then I'll do that and come back. So after that, this is what I had. Now I'll put the facing on it right side to right side, and then I'll join it at the top side as you see me. Yes, I'll join it there and then turn it and come back. So now I've joined it, so I'm going to turn it and then press it with a pressing iron, and then I'll come back to show you what next to do. So after pressing it, this is what I have. So now I'm going to close the area where the cap will be, and then I'll come back. Now the next thing to work on is the cap. So I'm going to get a fabric and divide it into 4 as you see me do, and then cut out the edge to form like a circle. Yes, like a circle. Then you notch the center, and then you take 1 inch from each side as you see me do, and then connect it to the middle where you notched. So when you connect it to the middle where you notched, then you will stitch it together. So you can see that I've connected it to that point, the notch area, and then I'll go and stitch it and come back. So this is what I got. I did it for both the main fabric and the facing. So I'll use this to cover the cap. Now one thing I noticed is that I cut the fabric too big. So when I was trying to pin it down, it wasn't giving me that puffy effect like the way the bust is. So I had to keep on reducing it till I got the desired way I wanted it. So one thing I would advise is that when you are cutting the fabric for the cap, make sure you use the cap to cut the fabric and maybe add like 3 inch or 4 inches to it. So I had to keep reducing to get this effect. Now I have pinned it down and then I have stitched it round. So I'll cut out the excess from it. That's the main fabric. I use the main fabric to cover it, so I'll cut out the excess from both of it. Then the next thing I'll do is to cover it with the facing. So right side to right side. Then I'll pin it only the top side. The top side that will show at the top of my chest. That's the only side that I'll stitch together, because we are going to turn it. So after stitching, as you see me, I would have to cut out the part that I stitched, the excess fabric from the part that I stitched. Then after that, I will turn it to the other side as you see me do, and then I'll top stitch at the top side so that it holds firmly. So I'll do that for both and then come back. Now after that, what I'll do is I'm going to now close the downside. After closing the downside, then I'll cut off the excess fabric from it, and then that will be it for the cap. So I'll do that and come back. So now we are going to put the cap on the front of the bodice. So I'm going to pin it down as you see me do. I'll pin it down, and then I'll take it to the machine, and then I'll stitch it round together. Then after that, we'll work on the back piece or the back bodice. Yes. So after pinning it down, I'm going to stitch it together, and so this is what I have. But before I work on the back, I would have to insert the boning in the cases that I created. So I'll fix it in all of the cases, and then now I'll be done for the front, and then we'll go to the back. I'll put down the front side, and then we'll start working on the back. So the back too, I'll join the center back piece to the side back. I'll join it to the side back, and then I'll come back, and then for both the main fabric and the facing or the lining. Yes. So when I'm done with that, this is what I have. So I'll put the main fabric and the lining or the facing right side facing each other, and then I'll close it, or I'll join it at the center back, so that we can turn it. Yes. So as when I did that, this is what I have. I've closed the center back. Now I'm going to close the top side of the back as well. So I'm going to face right side to the right side of the lining and then the main fabric, and then close that part. So when I stitch it, I'll use my scissors to notch it, so that when I turn it, it will look very nice. So yes, as you see me do. Now we are done with the back. So I will join the back to the front, so right side facing each other. I'll join it at the side, and then that will be it for the bodice part for both the front and the back. Then the next thing I'll work on is the strap, because I later decided to add a strap to it so that I can hold the dress together. So the strap, what I'll do is that I will stitch the long side, yes, and then leave a space in the middle, yes, and then leave a space in the middle, so that that's where I'll turn it from. So I'll do that for both and then come back. Now after I've done that, I will now open it and then close it at the end, the top and the down. I'll close it there before I'll turn it using the space I left in the middle. So I'll do that and come back, and then I'll press it. So now I'll turn it with anything I can use to turn it, but here I'm using a screwdriver. So then I'll press it, and then this is what I get. So I will add this, I'll hand stitch it to the bodice, or the bodice of the dress. That's because it was later I decided to add a strap, so I had to hand stitch it. So you can see me fixing it the way I would want it. The next thing I'll do is the structured sleeve that I'll add. So I added interfacing or stiff. I ironed interfacing to it. Now the same way, I'll stitch round it and then leave a space in the middle where I'll turn this thing from. Now to the right side, I'm done, and then I have ironed it. So now this is how I'm going to fix it to the bodice, as you see me do. The next thing is to work on the skirt. So for the skirt, I'll close it with the lining, or I'll turn it with the lining. The downside, I'll stitch both sides, but the top one, I'll just stitch the down, and then I'll turn it, and then when I come back, you see how it looks like. So after stitching, this is what I get. Now I'll go to the back and then turn it the same way. I'll use it to turn it down there, and then turn it for the back to also. Yes. Now we'll take the front, and then this piece that I cut out, I actually used the front skirt that I cut to cut out this part that I added, as you see me do. So I'll just place it on it, and then I'll stitch it. But before then, I'll have to close the front. So I'll close the front side and then turn it. So I'll do that for both the ash and the white, and then I'll come back. So when I turn it, this is how it will look. So I'll put it on the front of the skirt, and then I'll stitch it to the skirts, yes, before we join it to the back. So when I do that, you will see that yes, so now it's done. So I'll now add it to the back, and then we'll join it to the back, and then that will be for the skirt. So as you can see me, I'll put it right side to right side, front and back, and then I'll join it together. Now after joining, the next thing I'll do is to add the bow at the back, and then the ruffles in at the opening part. So I'll do that, but first let me join and then come back. So when I join, this is what I had. So I'll do knitting, so the inside will look nice, but then I would have to put the ruffles on this top there, the opening. So the ruffles, I would close it the same way I did for the strap, the same procedure. I'll join the long side, leave a space, and then close it, and then turn it and iron as you see me do. Then I'll run a loose stitch and then ruffle it together, and then place it on the opening of the skirt. Then I'll also use the facing to turn the one that I'll use for the bow at the back, for both the ash and the white. Then I'll hold it together at the middle and then hand stitch it to get that bow effect before attaching it to the back of the skirt. So now I have ruffled the fabric and put it on the opening there, and then I have also added the bow at the back. So I'll hand stitch all of them at the back, and then for the ruffle I used a machine to run a stitch, but the bow I just used my hand. Now I'll join the skirt to the top with a pin. So I use the pin to hold the skirt and the top together. So I'm going to stitch it to get it. Then I'll add the structured sleeve that I did, the way you see me do it. Yes, so I'll do that and then come back. So after joining it, this is what I had. Now I'll put a fabric at the back to cover my back where the eyelets will be for the lacing. So this is the fabric I used. That one too, I turned it and then left a small space there to turn it, and then I'll hand stitch it to the left side of the back of the dress, so that when I fix the eyelet and then I lace it, it will cover, or my back will be covered. Yes, so as you see me put it there, that is how I'll do it, or that is how I did it, and then I'll hand stitch it to the side there. Then I'll create the eyelets at the back, and then that will be done. That will be it for the dress. So before the beading, this is how the dress looked. Yes, so the next thing I'll do is now to do the beading. I'll do a different tutorial, full tutorial on how I did the beading, but for now I'll leave it here, and then the next time I will do another video on how I did the full beading, or a full video of how I did the beading. Okay guys, so after everything, this is how the dress looked. After I did the beading, this is how the dress looked. And finally, on the day I rocked the dress, I looked so stunning in it. Yes, I looked so beautiful. So you can try it for any kind of occasion, for wedding, for any anniversary, and it will work perfectly for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll definitely see you in my next video. Thank you.